Hey guys, I have been sick for the past 3 weeks straight. Totally 1 star, don't recommend. But I think hopefully we're back on track and ready to dive into some more first-person runs and other fun content. Some of you suggested that I do every dungeon, so here we are. We're going into Tam-Tara. Next is going to be Copperbell, and we're going to work our way all the way up to Dawn Trail and just see how it goes. These runs are really weird, I'm not gonna lie. Just trying to figure out where things are with such tight camera controls is kind of difficult. Trying to make sure that you're not snapping the targets, following along in these tight corridors, trying to make sure that you're hitting stuff, but also having no real depth perception, knowing where your stuff's gonna hit. Like moving around to try to position things, but also not being aware of where everything is. Like, I'm pretty sure there was one guy that wasn't in the hit zone here. Sometimes I turned off the HUD just to kind of see what was going on. Kind of gives you a little bit of a feel of kind of what it would be like in real life, I guess. It's so weird having to like turn and face things while you're running to shoot stuff. And the having to walk backwards instead of being able to just run is so obnoxious. And being a Lalafell and doing this in first person really makes you appreciate the scope of some of these enemies. Like, this thing is twice as big as my tank, who's a Mikote, and like, I'm up to his knees, basically. Oh man, it was so much easier to do the cultist orbs and get treasures on here, just because of the height, than in Sastasha trying to pick up that node on the ground. Yeah, it's just chaos everywhere, trying to follow these enemies. And trying to hit as many as you can, and not knowing how many you're missing, because you don't really know what's going on around you. And having to dodge the AoEs that you can't really tell where they're going. It's a pretty cool view though. It's also kind of funny to watch like the tank use Unleash and just kind of standing still as he's sliding forward. First person opens up not just interesting stuff, but kind of funny looking stuff too. And there were times I kind of like tried to get the view of what people were doing, like the samurai over here. Looks pretty cool. Like, you don't really get to see a ton of that. It also shows you how much work the animators put in. You can also get a better sense of like the dungeon atmosphere. You kind of feel more like you're there, running through these halls. Makes you realize just how big some of these things are. Like, they look so small at a distance, but these long-legged Eorzeon things are pretty tall. And there's just so much going on screen. It's like, how would you keep track of this in real life? Especially if you could take into account like the echo. You know, we see, you know, little lines of where the attack's gonna be, but like, what would you see if it was the actual echo overlaid, I guess, on your actual field of vision? It's crazy to think about. I had to try to find places that I could run behind people to hit as many people as I could, but it was tricky. Just because I didn't have as good a field of vision. And then jumping looks so different in first person. It makes it look like you're jumping so high, in regular camera. And in real life, if you were jumping that high, it would be pretty high too. But it just looks so different. It's pretty cool. You get to see like the Dark Knight do their big slashes and stuff right up close. This guy looks a lot more menacing in first person. It's so big. Sometimes you get to see the enemies actually go down instead of just like kind of just not being there anymore. Gives it a lot more immersion, I guess. I will say it does make sense that you have to actually like face a target to shoot it. It's not like I could hit something with an arrow if I'm not even looking at it, but man, from a gameplay perspective, it was rough. Alright, and there we have it. Tam-Tara's down. We're working our way through the easy dungeons and, learning some tricks along the way. And honestly, it's just fun. For now, this illness is still kind of just kicking my butt, so I needed to do something a little easier and something that wasn't going to take as much editing, and hope to be back on my feet soon here. Thanks for joining me on the first person journey, and we'll see you next time.